It is truly a great honor for me to have the opportunity to speak here today for the first participation of the Republic of Guinea in a summit of the African Union since the advent of our Fifth Republic following the presidential election, which enshrined the sovereign will of the Guinean people to continue the process of renewal. Guinea, since the time of our founding fathers, has always upheld the Pan-African ideal. Today, more than ever, this ideal must guide our collective action. Our peoples expect concrete results. They expect from us not only simple statements, but above all, they seek tangible and meaningful changes in their daily lives. Reliable access to energy, quality education for all, affordable healthcare services, employment opportunities, and economic dignity for everyone. It is in this spirit that Guinea has embarked on a profound dynamic of diplomatic, economic, and institutional repositioning. Our conviction is simple. There can be no lasting political sovereignty without economic sovereignty. And there can be no inclusive development without strategic control over our natural, human, and technological resources. Africa possesses exceptional assets, the most dynamic youth in the world, and abundant natural resources. An immense agricultural potential and a growing capacity for innovation. We must collectively accelerate structural reforms around three major priorities. First, we must prioritize the comprehensive industrialization and local processing of our resources. The practice of exporting our precious raw materials without any added value can no longer be the accepted norm. We must produce, process, and trade high-quality African goods within our own borders. Second, we need deeper economic integration and modernized continental infrastructure, including extensive networks of roads and railways. The development of digital energy systems without real interconnection remains significantly underutilized and untapped, even with the African Continental Free Trade Area in place. Third, the development of our essential human capital, encompassing education, technical training, science, innovation, and now the integration of artificial intelligence, must become the foundational pillars of our collective global competitiveness. Guinea is fully committed to this vision through our long-term socio-economic transformation program. We are working to build a diversified economy that creates jobs and respects the environment, while also strengthening institutional stability and the trust of our partners. But we know that the fate of the economy is the same. The fate of our nations is interconnected. No lasting national success can be achieved outside of a strong, stable, and integrated Africa. That is why we are calling for a Pan-Africanism of concrete projects, transformative investments, economic solidarity, and collective security. Dear brothers and fellow Africans, history is watching us, as are our people. Today, we have the opportunity to usher Africa into a new era, one of transformation, of assumed sovereignty, and of shared prosperity. Guinea will fully play its part in these collective efforts with unity, determination, and the spirit of African brotherhood.
Yes, greetings and welcome everyone, family, brothers and sisters. That is the first speech delivered by the President of Guinea, Colonel Mamady Doumbouya, at the African Union Summit. Since he came to power, it was sanctioned by the African Union due to what African Union said unconstitutional changes of governance. Last year, Colonel Mamady Doumbouya conducted presidential election and he was elected to be a democratic leader of Guinea-Conakry. The thing that some has been criticizing, that how is it possible someone who took power through military coup and then conducting election, do you think that man or that woman can be defeated at the election? No, it is impossible because it's the one who controlling the system. And I remember last weekend, the president of Angola, the outgoing chair of African Union, of course, warned African leaders that there's a tendency right now for military leaders to change clothes from uniform into suits and other attire to say they are democratic leaders. And of course, I like what Doumbouya has done, because that's what African Union wants. You know, I've been saying this. African Union are not really concerned with changes in the continent of Africa. What they want, whether you're a military leader, they want you to change your clothes. The way we have seen in Gabon that the military leader has put down combat and wearing suit, and yet they are saying this is democracy. So if you want cheating, we will cheat you. That's what right now these military leaders are doing. They change clothes and they say they are democratic leaders, because that's what African Union wants. But if it's real African Union want changes, they have to support these countries to have their own governance systems. The way we have seen in Burkina. One thing that I love from Captain Traore, he has declared himself and to the people of Africa that Burkina Faso is no longer a democratic country. It is a revolutionary country. So if you think maybe Burkina Faso will learn election recently, you are lying yourself. And of course, the good thing that Traore has done is to close and to shut down all political parties. No need for political parties, no need for these what we have seen in many African countries, demonstration and protesting. What we need right now is to build our nations. Some may say, you know, politics is our life. Let me tell you, brothers and sisters, who told you that democracy is a real system that brings development? And all countries that are calling themselves democratic country, they are so poor. Good example is Democratic Republic of Congo. Tell me what Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, has. Is a democratic, but it's the poorest country. It can't even manage its resources. And that's why you have seen groups, mercenaries, and these Western powers taking resources, even without being accounted. So I think African Union need to be informed that right now African countries want new governance systems, not this inherited democratic governance systems from the West. So, but if you want it, people will change clothes. They will remove combat, the way we have seen in Gabon, in Guinea. Then they will wear suits and other attire for you to believe that that is the democracy that you want. So, family, brothers and sisters, I don't want to talk too much, but I'm very happy to share this first speech delivered by President Mamady Doumbouya, the president of Guinea. Of course, the chairperson of African Union Commission, he was asked about bringing back Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. And of course, I shared that video. You heard the answers. The answers is not satisfied. Of course, many of us, we were disappointed by the answer from the African Union Commission chair that there are terrorist groups in Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso. It is difficult to integrate, but all in all, we know that these leaders in the African Union want leaders who are not in combat. That's what they want. So I think there was a need for African Union to understand what happened in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. And I've been saying, if African Union really want changes, they have to call these, to bring back these countries, because these countries, they have shown us the way they have came together and shown us, teaching us how to come together, how to unite. They have succeeded to have their own bank. They have taught us how to have our own bank. They have their own army. They have formed their own army. This is a good example. So there's a need for African leaders to integrate with these countries. But because of the big fear, you know, one thing that African Union fear. Of course, we know that African Union has a lot of old men and women who are in fear right now. They fear young people. They fear new generation, and that's why they fear leaders such as Traore, because they know that Traore is more creative than them. He's thinking beyond. So if you come up with Traore and you speak nonsense, I think Traore will destroy you, not through military or through power, but it will destroy you through constructive ideas. So they fear to join Traore. Anyone who you have seen engaging with Traore, you need to be prepared. You need to be more conscious about what you are talking about. So family, brothers and sisters, let me end here. Thank you for watching. I'm here in our beautiful continent. As you can see, family, brothers, so sometimes when we talk about Africa, we talk about Africa from the ground. We talk about Africa from the ground. When we talk about changes, we talk changes from the ground. That's why we are always talking about unity of this continent, because we know what is happening, what is really happening on the ground, how people are suffering. We know very well the suffering of our people. So we are not talking about Africa from the stories, from maybe from town. We are talking about Africa from the ground, from the villages, from rural areas, from township. And that's Africa that we are talking about. So when we say we need to serve our people, we need to help our people, these are people who we are talking about. As you can see here, we have people who are suffering. They don't have electricity. As you can see here, electricity is in trouble, safe water, infrastructures, as you can see. So when we talk about Africa, or when we address challenges facing Africa, we address challenges that we know exactly. So family, let us not speak for too long. Thank you. Have a nice time. Thank you.
Thank you, Africa.